Hi, Scott Orlin with CINEMA-Magazin. For all you young filmmakers out there who are thinking, I want to do something different, but I don't know what to do, talk to this man right here, director, writer, Richard Linklater. You did something different. Now, Boyhood is already opened in Germany.
Yes.
But for you as a filmmaker, what type of mindset do you have? I'm going to sit here and make a movie over the 12 years. People must have thought you were crazy.
Yeah, it's a crazy idea, but it was kind of, cinema is life, and it was just going to be a part of my life and all of our lives for 12 years. It didn't mean you couldn't do other things. If I would have just done this over 12 years, but I was lucky I made like 9 other films in this 12 years, so. But this was always a big thing. It was a big part of our lives, fun to come back to, something to look forward to, something to always be working on, kind of healthy to always have a project that you're digging into, and it's about life, it's about parenting, it's about growing up, so everything, it was a good way to go through life these 12 years, thinking about this film.
In these 12 years, Richard, technology has changed a lot.
Yeah.
Film, now the red camera, digital.
We went through a lot of.
Can you talk a little bit about that? What happened during these 12 years of making movies that affected the way you make a movie?
I like to think of it as we got the best of both worlds. At the beginning, I made a choice, and it wasn't, I wasn't conflicted about it for a second. I was like, we're going to shoot on 35 millimeter, because I knew a negative would be the most stable. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I knew I wanted it to look like one movie, and I could tell that the new advances going on in the digital high-def world, that was going to keep changing and getting better and better, but I knew there would still be film around. People were like, there might even be film 12 years from now. I said, I bet I've seen the slow death of other gauges, over my time, and I felt it would still be around. It just would be less and less. And so, sure enough, we kind of caught the end of one era, and it's really benefited from all the wonderful digital possibilities in post-production, correcting things, and there was a poster in the background I couldn't get from year 2, like 20 years ago, that's the kind of thing. You got to rotoscope a negative, you got to takes 2 weeks and costs $30,000. Now it's just, we can't get the rights to that football poster? It's like, okay.
Let me ask you, when initially I have this idea, and I'm going to start writing the script, and you have a template, but over the course of 12 years, personalities changed, especially with Ella, the little boy.
Yeah.
So what of the original script did you have, and what, when people see the movie, is ended up there?
It's a boring answer, but it's kind of the movie was set out to make. I don't know any other way to put it. It would change incrementally. It would go where they went. Eller and Lorelai and Patricia and Ethan. They were adults, so they were maybe a little more predictable.
Where did you find Lorelai? The casting process must have been incredible to find that little girl.
That was unique because she sort of cast herself in this movie. I didn't have to cast her.
It's his daughter.
Yes, she was in my, and that was talk about an interesting life project. It was pretty wild to be editing like 9-year-old, 10-year-old Lorelai. All these years later, I was always editing the whole thing, and then to go sit across the dinner table with her 30 minutes later. Her 17, 18, 19-year-old self. It's a pretty wild process.
Talk about, maybe there might be young filmmakers in Germany watching this. What's a good, healthy process to start making creative movies? What's something different to do? Because there's probably the standard, get a camera and go out and shoot.
Yeah.
Is there something unique that you would offer?
I think there's 2 different things. There's learning the technical aspects of filmmaking, which isn't difficult. It's nothing to be intimidated by. It's easy. I think you just do that. And then expressing yourself via this medium is that's a whole nother thing. And that often, there's a gap there of years of, so I didn't really try to express myself too much for several years. I just made films, technical exercises. And then, because I knew my ideas were far beyond what I would be able to technically pull off. So I think express yourself incrementally. But it's really just storytelling. What stories do you want to tell, and how do you want to tell them? I don't know any other way to put it.
Well, you definitely presented a unique story that
that's
no one
all
else
this was. It was the only way to tell this story. It wasn't a gimmick or something. Oh, that'd be cool. It was like, I wanted to tell a story about growing up, and it was the only way to do it.
Well, I look forward to manhood.
Yeah,
So
thank
next
you.
one,
We're
Richard,
in that.
thank you
Yeah,
so
really
much.
good talking to
Appreciate
you.
it. This is
Always.
Scott Orlin. Until next time.